I'm Cindy Goldhawk from New Heights Occupational Therapy and Wellness, and I'm just going to show you a quick stretching routine that's good for decreasing nervous energy before going down to sleep at night. So all you really need, if you have a couple of yoga blocks, or you can use a pillow, anything that you have at home really. So we'll start by just doing some deep breathing in mountain pose. So just standing tall, lifting your spine up with your palms facing forward, and just taking some nice cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through your mouth. Again. We're going to start by doing a sun salutation, standing at the top of your mat, your arms out, looking up to the sky and folding forward. Extending up to lengthen your spine and then resting back down. Allowing the tension to slide off your back. Putting your hands on the floor, on your shins, on blocks, wherever you can reach, and bending your knees as much as you need to. And coming back up, looking up to the ceiling, and then bringing your hands back down to midline. And try that again, this time going into a downward dog. Breathe up, fold over. So you breathe out, grab your ankles, shins, whatever you can. Lengthen your spine, making your back like a tabletop, and then reaching back down. From here, plant your hands and step your feet back behind you, putting your knees down if you need to, or you can go from your toes and then slowly lowering down to the ground. Pushing back up, and then just kind of spreading your fingers as much as you can and kind of palming the floor so you don't have a lot of pressure through your fingers, and just pedaling your feet to kind of warm up those ankles, allowing your head to hang heavy, continuing to breathe. And once you've pedaled out your feet, just rest them down as far as they'll go. Press your bottom up towards the sky. Let your head release and push through your hands. Breathing nice and deep. Nice long exhale. If we make a longer exhale than our inhale, it's calming for the nervous system. If you have a longer inhale, then that brings in energy. Coming down from this, if you can step your feet towards your hands, do that lengthening thing again. Rest down, and then coming back up, looking up to the sky, bringing your hands down to the center of your heart. Great job. From here, we're going to go into Warrior Two position, which is basically you use the midline of your back foot to line up with the heel of your front foot. I don't know if you can see that quite, but and then we're just going to bend this front leg and have both arms up at shoulder level, looking over our front hand. And breathing, just holding that as long as it's comfortable for that front thigh. It can get tired pretty quick. Coming up, the exalted warrior, which is still bending through that front leg, but you bring this back arm down your back leg and then curve this one and try to stretch through the side body here, just as far as is comfortable for your body. Coming up from that, back into Warrior Two. Now we're going to straighten this front leg, bring our front arm down to our front shin or ankle, top arm up to the sky, This is called triangle pose. So trying to have your body all in one line. Like if you had a glass in front of you and a glass window behind you, that you would fit nicely in between. Remembering to breathe. Bringing that top arm up. And then we're going to flip over to the other side, doing warrior two. So again, making the heel of the front foot in line with the midline of your back foot. That's parallel, or like a T to the front foot. Bending the front foot, bending the front knee, arms up at shoulder level, and be a nice strong warrior. So your body's tall, breathing in and having a longer exhale. Bringing that top arm back to exalted warrior. Looking up at it if that's comfortable for your neck. If it's not, just keep it forward. And again, we're feeling that stretch through the sideline of our body. Wonderful. Back into warrior two. Then straightening that front leg, bringing the front arm down to meet wherever is comfortable, shin, ankle, floor. The top arm goes up to the sky, and we're into triangle. Deep breaths to hold this position. And releasing some stagnant energy in our bodies. Lifting that top arm up. And then ending in warrior two. We'll do some flying warriors. You bring your hands together as you straighten both legs, and then down. Do that 2 more times. Up on the inhale, down on the exhale. Great. Taking it down to the floor. Just gonna do a couple cat-cow. So pulling your navel in and your back, and letting your head rest down as you breathe in. And breathe out as you flip your tailbone up and your neck looks up to the sky, if that's comfortable for you. Again, tuck under. And let it go. 2 more times. So good for the mobility of the spine. Get any kinks out of there. Now we're going to do pigeon pose. So if you take your left leg and bring it up so it's parallel to the top of your mat, or as close to as you can, having a block or a pillow or a stool near. You can either stay up here or you can bring it down. So trying to pull that straight leg back a little bit so you're getting a stretch through the right hip flexor, and then you're also getting a stretch through the left piriformis and some of the external rotators in the hip. This position is really good for decreasing stress in the nervous system, in the body. I like to take a block and just rest my head down. Just hold this for a little bit. Remembering to breathe and just feeling those muscles lengthen and relax. Kind of moving around on this left hip to find the juicy spot for you. You want a little bit of tension, but not so painful, of course. So coming out of that one, you can slide over onto the left side of your hip. swing your right leg around, and now we're gonna do the right side. So bringing your right leg up, so it's almost parallel to the top of your mat. I can't quite get mine there. It's at more of a 45-degree angle, and that's totally fine. All of our bodies are different. So again, kind of pulling back that straight leg so you get a stretch through the hip flexor. And if you are looking for that hip flexor stretch, staying up here might be better. But if you're looking more at getting the stretch in that right hip, and if you have room for it, just come down a little bit onto your elbows. Maybe rest your head on something and breathe. Feeling the parts of your body that are contacting the ground. Just settling and relaxing and allowing the earth to support them. Wiggling around on that hip to see where the stretch feels best. Taking one more deep breath. You can hold this for as long as you want if you want to pause the video. Now we're just going to move into a forward fold, which is nice and calming for the brain. I always like to use a cushion or a block under my tailbone. It just helps to prop the pelvis forward a little bit and makes it easier to sit upright. If you don't have an issue with that, you don't need one, but I just thought you can even kind of pull your cheeks out of the way a little bit so you can sit more upright, and then just have your feet kind of flexed in front of you and reaching for as far as is comfortable for your body with your hands, and just resting and breathing. Doing some ankle circles to get the circulation going. If your hamstrings are quite tight, you can keep your legs bent a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to move 2 legs up the wall. So find a wall where you can scooch up against. Legs up the wall, what I want you to do is scooch the side of your hip up to the wall as close as you can, and then swing your body around. You might have to use your forearms to get you a little bit closer. And then there you go, you have your legs up the wall. This is so great for varicose veins or for tired legs. It's really good for settling the nervous system. You're welcome to put your hands wherever you're comfortable. I like to put mine out to the side to stretch through the pectorals. Just take some nice deep breaths. Circle your feet again, both ways. Feeling the length of your back just melting into the ground. Your pelvis is fully supported by the ground. Try to trace the outline of your body on the ground. hold this for as long as you want. I'm going to come back up. I would probably hold it for 5 minutes at least, but just for sake of time here, I'll pop back on and just say thanks for joining me for this stretch. Namaste means the light in me sees the light in you. So namaste.